Hey guys, this is your host Thomas Tyree here from On the Hot Podcast. Today, this is going to be episode 241 for you guys today. And to kick off this week's episode, I'll be sharing my game summary from Week 18's Sunday Night Football game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens, where the Pittsburgh Steelers defeated the Baltimore Ravens by a score of 26-24 to not only punch their ticket to the playoffs, but to win the AFC North and eliminate the Baltimore Ravens from playoff contention. So, man, my thoughts on the game, absolute cinema. Another classic has been added to the rich history of the AFC North rivalry between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. To a lot of people, this is the best rivalry that the NFL has to offer today between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm on board for saying that. But in this game, the fourth quarter was insane. There was a total of 5 lead changes between the two respective teams in the fourth quarter. Both teams played well enough to win. At the end of the day, I think the Ravens, in losing fashion, played well enough to win this game. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers did their job, did everything that they were supposed to do to win this game. Both former MVPs were dueling back and forth. Lamar Jackson was dueling with Aaron Rodgers. Both multiple-time MVPs going blow for blow, tick for tack, trading back and forth touchdowns with each other. It was an absolute sim in the fourth quarter. But in the end, it was the bad man. At 42 years old, Aaron Rodgers delivered in the clutch when needed. And he stepped up without his number one wide receiver, DK Metcalf, in this ball game against the Baltimore Ravens. And the receiving core that he had, I'm just going to be respectful, but it is atrocious, respectfully. Because this receiving core that he was working with of Calvin Austin, an older version of Adam Thielen that is no longer in his prime, and Scotty Miller, and he got the job done against this Baltimore Ravens defense. And Aaron Rodgers didn't play picture perfect in this game, guys. He missed some throws here and there. Obviously, his legs aren't the same. He's not the same mobile guy that he once was at 42 years of age and coming off a torn Achilles injury a few years ago, but he's still a bad man. And this man delivering in the clutch when needed for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Lamar Jackson got the ball last. Like, Lamar Jackson did everything he was supposed to win this ball game. He was delivering in the pocket, making some stellar throws, some clutch throws to Zay Flowers, and he had the ball last, put his team in great field position after the kickoff return, and delivered on a clutch 4th and 7 conversion to Isaiah Likely down the field that looked like that was going to be it. And the Ravens were going to send the Pittsburgh Steelers to Cancun and end their season, but that wasn't it. Now, I do have a questionable theory here, because when I was watching the TV, I'm thinking the Ravens still got one timeout with a little bit of time left on the clock. Instead of Lamar Jackson backpedaling, taking a knee to get Tyler Loop in a good field position for him to make a 44-yard field goal, why not run the football one more time with Derrick Henry, possibly get 4 to 6 yards and make the chip shot field goal even easier for your rookie kicker? But that didn't happen. Lamar Jackson took the knee, and then they set up for the chip shot field goal for Tyler Loop, their rookie kicker. He missed a 44-yarder, and the Baltimore Ravens season ended in heartbreaking fashion. And I got to go back to reminiscing when I was in middle school, about 6th or 7th grade, where the Baltimore Ravens played the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game. The missed kick by Billy Cundiff in the AFC Championship game. I know Ravens fans are thinking about that moment. And I know Ravens fans are missing Justin Tucker more than ever. Because if you had your reliable kicker that was there for you year in and year out, and you guys didn't want him out of the city, and yeah, he went through some things off the field, but if you had Justin Tucker, you would be in the playoffs right now. So, a learning curve for Tyler Loop, but guys, this costed John Harbaugh his job. This costed John Harbaugh his job. This is crazy. I mean, again, looking at it, the Ravens did everything that they were supposed to do to win this ballgame. They lost in heartbreaking fashion. Lamar Jackson made picture-perfect throws in the pocket, even though he only had 11 completions. Lamar Jackson did his thing. They ran the football well against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. And the thing is, the Ravens finished at 8-9. 8-9, under 500, missing the playoffs. This team has nobody to blame but themselves. They have nobody to blame but themselves. I know Lamar Jackson missed time with an injury, but they dropped too many games, even with him in the lineup earlier on in the season, to try to play catch-up late in the season. And I could go on and on about the teams that they lost to, and I'll get to that. But in this game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Why did Derrick Henry have 5 carries in the second half of this ball game on his damn birthday in a do or die game? That doesn't make any sense to me, guys. Is Todd Monken as good as everybody thinks he is as a head or as an offensive coordinator in Baltimore? I think he sold the Ravens a lot of games in this season, because this is another time Derrick Henry only getting 5 carries in the second half in a do or die game. In a do or die game weeks ago against the New England Patriots on Sunday Night Football. Why is Derrick Henry your second best offensive player outside Lamar Jackson, who was out for the second half of the game? Why did he only get 24 total snaps against the New England Patriots? And this goes back to my point. The Ravens shot themselves in the foot all year long. They blown games against the Buffalo Bills on the road week 1 on Sunday Night Football. You close out that game, we're talking about 8 wins. How about getting outplayed and out hustled on Monday Night Football? And I was in attendance for that, so I can talk about that. Getting outplayed and out hustled by the Detroit Lions on Monday Night Football week 3. You win that game. That's another win that you get add to the total. We're at 9 wins. You got embarrassed week 4 on the road against the Kansas City Chiefs. You get blown out Thanksgiving against the Cincinnati Bengals, and Joe Burrow is disrespecting the Maryland Crab as his team celebrates a victory in Baltimore. And then you blew 11-point lead to the New England Patriots. At least if you win 3 out of 4 of those games, you're a playoff team and you win this division with 10 or 11 wins. It's embarrassing. But we'll talk about more about the Baltimore Ravens' future as this episode goes on. But the Pittsburgh Steelers have now won their first division title since 2020, and they will play the Houston Texans on Monday Night Football in the wild card matchup. So if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, your season is still alive. For the Ravens, a disappointing end to the season when you were one of, if not the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl this year. But that is my Ravens versus Steelers game summary.